Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time. We are very lucky, very fortunate to have the man, myth, the legend, Pace Morby with us today. How you doing, sir?
I'm great, brother.
Hey, this is a topic I have been wanting to ask you for a long time. And the fact that we're going to record it means I can go back and watch this time and time again. It's really a simple question. And it's really, again, my opinion, kind of the biggest, starkest difference between you and I. When I look at you, when I watch you, when I have others talk about you, I get a vibration that Pace Morby, since the day he was born to be an entrepreneur. Myself, not natural, don't have it. Don't even call myself an entrepreneur, right? I am always been a great employee, right? Give me a target. I run faster, harder, longer than anybody else. Maybe you could call me a good or great investor. But when I think about the two of us, you wear the brand entrepreneur or tag, and I simply don't. So I just got to ask you, are great entrepreneurs born, or can they be created, or can it be learned? What do you think?
This is interesting that you would identify yourself that way. I would never have guessed that at all. I would have never guessed that you would have said that you don't consider yourself like not wearing the label entrepreneur, which is interesting because even your YouTube channel it took creation, forethought, energy, grit to be able to go through and post a video that nobody saw probably 85 times, just like me. It's like, nobody saw it. Nobody saw it. Nobody saw it. Okay, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. And I'm like, dude, that's a business. YouTube channel by itself. People don't realize how much time, energy, anxiety goes into sitting there and like when the cameras are off in this studio I have, or in my office, and I'm sitting there stressing out about how do I make sure I bring such amazing value to people that they can actually digest it and put it into action. Brother, that takes an entrepreneur's mind. I feel like you are an entrepreneur. It's interesting to think like just your YouTube channel is a business by itself.
Oh, it's certainly a business. Maybe it's the word, the definition. I don't know. I certainly see myself as a teacher. I will wear that hat for sure. Motivator for sure. I don't do any of this for money. I do this, like you talked about your goal at the end of episode 3 about you want your tombstone to be go-giver. Something I have said, I think it was video 2, might have been video 1 on my channel, which is, oh, by the way, 6,000 videos ago, was I wanted to be remembered 50 years after I'm dead. Yeah. That's why I do this every day. I average 6 videos a day. I don't edit a damn thing. 6 videos a day. I have 8, 9 millionaires that talk to me every week. I've done a daily show on the Daily Financial News for 1,000 days because I want to teach, motivate. I want to change people's lives. That excites. I do this now because I can, and I enjoy every day. I don't see any of this as work. I don't see any of this as work. I don't know.
It's an interesting thing because like from an entrepreneurial standpoint, last night I had a brand new student come into my program. His name's Todd. And he wouldn't even put his camera on, right? Because I'm on Zoom and we're in 300, 400 people are in this private Zoom with me and my students. And I spend probably an average of 25, 30 hours a week with my students in these private Zooms. I just love it. You know, it's just like you. I love seeing people change their lives. And I enjoy the emotional income I get from people saying, you changed my life. It's fun. You know, and maybe that's an egotistical thing. I don't know. But Todd comes in and he goes, Pace, I took action.
Okay.
I go, great. What have you done? He goes, I joined sub 2. I go, okay. Great. Where did you take action? And he goes, well, I joined sub 2. And I go, okay. Well, you went out and you looked for an easy button, and now you got the easy button standing in front of you. And what are you doing? Are you pushing it? Are you actually taking action? Are you calling sellers? Are you generating leads? Are you negotiating with wholesalers? Are you working with real estate agents? What are you doing to go out and find these deals? He goes, oh, I haven't gotten there yet. And I go, okay, great. So here's how I look at it.
Yeah.
And this goes back to that question of, are people born entrepreneurs or can they learn this?
Yes.
If you bought Mario video game and you start playing that game, here's what's going to happen. You learn where the pitfalls are. You learn where the bad guys are. You learn where the coin boxes are, and you learn that, and you die 15 times on the first time you're on the first level, right? It's unavoidable that you're going to die when you first learn the game Mario and you're going through and playing the game. Well, guess what? You get so fast that you can zoom through it right? Through practice, and you're on level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, and you're just zooming through.
Mm-hmm.
I go, so Todd, here's what you've done. I'm over here dying on level 3 because I know that that's part of the process. I'm dying. I'm trying to jump over pits, but I haven't learned to run fast enough to jump over it. So I got to die, start that level all over, and I got to do it again. But I'm on level 3.
Mm-hmm.
Other people are on level 6 and level 9 and whatever else. But here you are on level 1, but you haven't even grabbed the controller. And what's happening is, if anybody knows level 1, on Mario number 1, is that there's a little Koopa, a little thing that comes over to you in the first 15 seconds. And if you don't move and you don't jump, you die regardless.
Wow.
And so I said, what are you afraid of? And he goes, well, I'm afraid of failing. I go, bro, you just standing there in Mario, you're going to die over and over and over. You're going to fail regardless of whether you do something or you don't do anything. So you might as well have fun doing it. Right. And he goes, wow, that analogy literally just got me convinced to take action, because the reality is I'm so fearful of failing, but I'm now realizing that I already am failing.
Right.
That what's the worst that could happen? I go, here's the worst that can happen. You're going to die in level 3 and level 4, and you're going to have all sorts of fun getting there. It's a fun journey, very similar to you. You're talking about, this is fun for me. So I believe that people can learn to be entrepreneurs or more entrepreneurial. However, I don't think that people can learn to be a Bill Gates, an Elon Musk, maybe a Grant Cardone, all these other magnificent leaders. I'm never going to be somebody worth $1 trillion. I already know that. I wasn't born with the right IQ, maybe the right circumstances. I wasn't maybe put under a lot of pressure as a child that would turn me into a diamond. You know, there's a lot of those stories. Mm-hmm. I was taught to work really, really hard. And I know that I have millions of dollars, as do you, in real estate, and we're well off. Will I become a billionaire? I think 5 years ago, I didn't think that was even possible for me. Now, as I've gained momentum and learned new things, and I've gone from level 2 to level 3 and level 4, I have learned that it is absolutely possible for me to be a billionaire. Now, Is that my goal, to be a billionaire? It wasn't, but now I go, well, why not? Because here's the thing. In order for me to have life-changing money, I have to be able to change other people's lives with my money. Correct. Not just my own. Mm-hmm. And so I look at that and I'm like, I learned along the way that being a billionaire could be a possibility for me, which would allow me to help more people, do more affordable housing projects and things of that nature. Bro, check this out. Talking about manifesting, this is one thing I haven't talked about. Do you know who this person is right here?
No.
This is Big Boy from Outkast. Okay.
Okay.
And this is Andre 3000 from Outkast. So this is one of the most famous rap groups of all time. The reason why I have this portrait behind me is because it reminds me of my number one job. My number one job, and your number one job, you should know this, is to become a storyteller.
Yes.
And to tell stories at a better, more easy to digest way, so people ultimately take action. These two gentlemen have changed my life. They have 2 songs called The Art of Storytelling Part 1 and The Art of Storytelling Part 2. And so when I look at them, and they're behind me when I'm on a live with you or doing other things with other people, they are there to remind me that I need to be a better storyteller all the time. Interesting. Well, guess what? I manifested a relationship with this man. Him and I are now working on affordable housing projects in Atlanta. Wow. And I look at the only way that I can do and change the game and elevate and get into rooms with people like that is for me to have more resources, to that I can bring those resources to somebody else. They would then want to collaborate with me. And so I learned that being a billionaire is actually a worthy goal in order to help as many people as you possibly can. He wants to be known as one of the biggest people in Atlanta and Savannah, Georgia, that changed the game in terms of affordable housing. You can't do that with $5 million.
No, exactly.
You can't do that with $100 million. You got to have access to billions of dollars of capital and resources, et cetera. And so I learned that along the way. So I think that people can learn to be entrepreneurial, But I don't think that it's possible for me to ever learn to be somebody like an Elon Musk, who is probably the greatest current entrepreneur of our time.
I think I agree 100% with all of that. I do think there are some special human beings that are struck by lightning that just have it, or they just think different, or they just keep moving forward. Elon Musk being a great example of that. But you're right. I do think folks that just keep moving forward, keep asking the right questions, keep getting 1% better every day, have the right motivations, can be more entrepreneurial. But it does take work. I think there's a lot of folks, back to your earlier example, that want the easy button.
Oh yeah.
They might even buy the easy button, but then they forget to push the easy button, right? In your example.
Because I call it mental masturbation. It's
exactly.
I am tricking my brain into believing that I've done something.
Yeah, I tell people all the time. My course is a huge price at $319. Right, that's the cost of my course, which is a crazy low number on purpose. It's enough to feel committed, but it's not enough to break you. But I think sometimes it is that, to use your word, mental masturbation. All right, I bought the How to Get Started One Rinse at a Time. I've done something, and then they never show up. It drives me crazy.
It's like what is it? People want to go work out and lose weight. What do? They buy a new pair of shoes.
Or worse, they get a membership that hits them every month.
Yeah.
And they still don't show up. Right. So it's funny. The value, you're right. My course, amazing. Your wife's added stuff. You will be adding stuff when we get a chance. But the best thing I have is free. It's the Facebook group.
Yeah.
But here's the deal. You can't get in the Facebook group until you buy the ticket, right? Which is $320.
Yeah.
But the course has another 1,000 people that are posting wins, asking questions, speaking the same vocabulary, no fakers. And again, I created it by accident. I created it because I wanted an FAQ spot. I mean, let's be honest. And now it's just blowing up and it's huge. But yeah, it's the reason I bring this up is people spend $320, buy the course, tell themselves they've done something, and then they don't join the Facebook group.
Right.
I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? I mean, I don't care if you don't take any of the videos. You just join the Facebook group. It's worth that. I mean, it's mind-boggling. They don't even do that step, and it's free. It's crazy.
Right. Well, here's another question. Do you think you could take anybody, a random person, and you could turn them into an entrepreneur in their current state? I would say the answer is no, I cannot.
Yeah, probably not. I was going to say no. So yeah.
I have people on my team, people that work for me, that are not ever going to be a Pace Morby. They're not ever going to be a Michael Zuber. They're not ever going to be a Cody Barton or any other level that most people kind of look at as an entrepreneur. I would say the average person doesn't want to deal with what it takes.
Yes.
And that's the biggest problem. It's that people want the rewards, right? They see the nice things. Like, I'm not a fancy guy. I don't drive a Bugatti. I drive a Prius, a Kia, and an F-150.
Yeah.
And half the time somebody else is driving my Prius that needs help or whatever else. But I don't wear a watch.
Right.
I have all the money that I could buy any watch I want, and it's just, those things are not interesting to me. But what most people do is they look at, vacations and private jets and this, that, and the other, and all these things, and they go, I want that.
Yeah.
Okay, I want that. Great. You should want that.
Yeah.
But then when you realize what it takes, you don't want to do it. And so I feel like that's the average person, is they just don't understand what it really truly takes. And I think a great entrepreneur makes it look easy. And I look at Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan's greatest thing that he ever did wasn't winning all those championships. It wasn't playing on a broken wrist or a broken, ankle, or playing and winning that game 5 when he had the flu. It wasn't any of that stuff. It was the same thing that Tiger Woods does. Not being number one is not the impressive thing. It's that they make the hard things look easy.
Yeah.
They make it look like it's effortless for them. It is not. Kobe Bryant made it look effortless. And it wasn't until social media and YouTube that people started talking about what Kobe Bryant used to put in work.
Mamba mentality.
Nobody knew.
Yep.
They just thought he's born with those gifts. He's born with those things. So the reality is, the question I ask is, can you get somebody to desire to enjoy that journey more than they enjoy the outcome? And that is what an entrepreneur, or at least for what I do, is I've learned to enjoy every minute of the journey.
Absolutely.
And the outcome is, who cares what the outcome is? I just want to be chopping wood and carrying water every freaking minute of the day.
That is awesome. Yeah, I've come to the point, again, storytelling is the thing. You talked about that earlier. That is the number one skill that people need to learn, right? If you're 18 in high school, 30, whatever it is, you have to be able to tell stories. People have to feel. So one of the things I'm very, again, you have to repeat or chop wood, right? You can make work optional in 10 years or less with how to get started one rental at a time. House hacking is the cheat code to wealth, if you can do that. But also, I tell you, the first 3 to 5 years are slow. You want it faster. Enjoy it. It will build momentum, energy, inertia. It all comes. I've been very clear with everyone. This is the first 3 to 5 years. They suck. They're slow. Get in the boat. Keep rowing. Keep working, because the last 5 years, it's amazing what could happen. So, Pace, you've been such a.
Let me. Can I say something
Sure,
on that real fast?
please.
I love that, because I think that you and I probably have a similar belief that there's a lot of people out there that teach like you can retire in a year. Yeah. Now, we both have students that have done things like that, right?
Sure.
We have people that have. I have students that make a couple $1 million in their first year in wholesale fees and cash flow, and they buy their first 25 rentals in 12 months.
Wow. Yeah.
Right. We've had that.
It happens.
But that's the overwhelming, like very, very top, right? Yeah. It does take more time. So here's the advice. We were driving from Houston to Dallas the other morning, and Bobby, who's our videographer, Bobby Two Hands, we call him, or Bobster the Lobster.
I like that. Okay.
He's driving. Jamil's in the passenger seat. I'm in the back seat. Rahima's to my left. Rahima's one of our co-stars on the TV show. And Bobby goes, Pace, what is it about you that makes you different than everybody else? I go, I think it comes down to two things. Number one, my parents taught me to love working. Now, that could be good and bad. The good part of it is that I've never woke up in the morning and feared getting out and just getting after it. Mm-hmm. And I enjoy working. I look forward to working. I've never looked at work as that's a chore or I got to roll my eyes. I can't tell you how many times I've been around people like, oh, I have to go to work. I have to do this. I have to do this. I'm like, dude, I've never had that feeling. I'm like, I'm so grateful I get to work, because my dad was a blue collar contractor, still is to this day. He would take me out on Saturdays and Sundays, and he turned working on paint jobs and drywall jobs and baseboard trim and door jobs. He turned it into a fun thing of like, hey, where are we going to go to lunch today? Or, hey, what gas station should we stop by? Because which one has better treats than the other one? Or, hey, do you want to pick out the tool that we got to buy for this today and tell me why it's a good tool versus that's a better tool or whatever else? My parents taught me to enjoy every minute of the work, and it was never about the outcome. And so that's number one. Number two, the negative part of that is that you can I learned to work with my hands. Mm-hmm. And trade my time for money, which is the antithesis of true freedom, mm-hmm. right? Mm-hmm. And once I got rid of that problem and I learned how to get into real estate and I learned how to do things that actually could magnify my efforts, then it came down to the second thing is that I don't have an end in mind. So people ask me, Pace, when are you going to stop? I'm going to stop when I have a heart attack from working myself to death.
Oh, no. Okay.
And I look forward to that. I know it sounds like very crazy, but the reality is there's no dollar in mind. Right. There's no number in mind. There's no private island that I'm going to put my feet up on. I enjoy the process of this so much that I will be in it until the day I die, because this is so fun. The moments of when I used to go on the appointments and negotiate with sellers face to face, when I would knock the doors, when I would skip trace and do the cold calls, I had so much fun learning new things I didn't know before. And that's the difference. And so for those of you that look at this and go, oh man, it's a long 3 to 5 year process for me to gain that freedom. Guys, I never, ever in my mind said, if this happens, then I'll quit something. Yeah. That's never been in my mind. You guys have this thought process of, Once I have this much money, I will then stop working.
Yeah. I don't have that.
That has never crossed my mind. Everything in my mind is the journey has always been the goal. How can I just have a more fun and enjoyable time on the journey by bringing more people around me that I love, collaborating with people like Michael Zuber, being around people that are going to make my process so much more fun. I remember, last thing I'll say, I'm sorry I'm so loquacious. I remember walking when I was in 6th grade with my friend Tyler Korth and a couple of other buddies of mine. We would walk from elementary down to Circle K, and we would buy snacks and we would go back home. And I remember one day that my three friends were out on like a soccer camp that I wasn't playing in. I was playing soccer. And I realized that I was like, yeah, I'll just go to Circle K. I'll just go down to Circle K. And so I walked from the elementary school down to Circle K. This is, back in the day where your parents didn't need to know where you were every single minute, every day.
Sure.
And so I go down there and I just remember it being the most boring thing ever because the journey now was lacking my friends and it was lacking the people I was collaborating with. And then I also realized that it was never about the treats or the journey at Circle K. It was always about the walk and the path, being shoulder to shoulder with my friends. And so guys, when you are in Michael Zuber's Facebook group, when you are in his community, understand that you have literally made it to the best part of this entire process, which is the journey. Make your friends, get your Tyler Korths, enjoy the walk to Circle K more than you care about the Starburst that you buy at Circle K.
I think that is, it's very funny. It's actually rule number 7 of my one rental at a time rules is audit your network, audit the people around you. Cause maybe your journey is great with Tyler and fun and it's healthy and you're both benefiting, but some of your Tylers suck. And they're actually taking you backwards and, it's their anchors or, anvils on your chest. But yeah, definitely audit your network. It is the journey. Get around people that are positive. It's not all about winning. There are bad days, but if you're around people, the bad days won't seem so bad. You'll see they happen to all of us. Pick yourself up, learn the lesson that's in front of you and just move on. Just keep going.
Yeah.
So folks, Pace is a true treasure to us, the real estate industry, motivation, all of us. Where do you want them to go to find you and see what's going on?
First and foremost, if you guys have not subscribed to Michael Zuber's YouTube channel, freaking do that. You know how many people watch and consume YouTube content, but then don't subscribe? Guys, subscribe and hit the notification bell. It's the only way that we feel the emotional income from you guys. So make sure that you guys are liking and subscribing to this channel. And then here's the other thing I would appreciate for you guys to do. If you feel like something I said or Michael said today changed your life, take this video and send it to somebody in your network on your phone and go, I enjoyed this video because this. Don't say, hey, go watch this. Say, I enjoyed this video because blah, 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 and share it.
There you
One
go.
person, just one person, guys. And that is where I want what you guys want. What I want you guys to do today. That's it.
Awesome. Do yourself a favor, folks. Look up Pace Morby on YouTube. It is definitely worth it. And of course, subscribe to Pace Morby. Thanks, buddy.
Thank you, brother.